And where were you? Are you too good for this movie? What's up, YouTube? This is your boy John from Project Ellsworth, and I am back with you today to give you my review of the 1982 film Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. You know, this movie pissed a lot of people off because of you. Halloween 3 was both written and directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, starring Dan O'Hurley, Stacey Nelkin, and Tom Atkins.
I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. A joke on the children. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it. Happy Halloween. Stop it!
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
So Halloween 3 opens with a dude running down a dark street with a car chasing him. After a brief encounter with the people chasing him down the street in that car, this guy comes across a gas station. In that gas station is a gas station attendant, and that dude gets this other guy to the hospital. At the hospital, we meet Dr. Chalice, portrayed by Tom Atkins. Brilliantly, I might add. Dr. Chalice is trying to, take care of this patient. The patient is very obviously freaked out about something, but we don't know what yet. And the whole time, he's clenching onto a pumpkin mask or a jack-o'-lantern mask. He looks at Tom Atkins and he says, "They're going to kill us all," or something along those lines. Dr. Chalice decides to sedate this patient, and after he gets him situated and sedated, he goes and takes a nap in the lounge. Tired. Doctors work long hours. So while Dr. Chalice is asleep, one of the guys that was chasing the other dude earlier in the car comes to the hospital, finds his room, and kills him. It was gnarly as hell, too. He took his two fingers. At first, he looked like he was going to just poke his eyes out. And he grabs a hold of this dude by the bridge of his nose and, pulls it out, breaks his nose. It's friggin' badass. So a nurse finds the guy leaving the room. The dude, after he gets done wiping the blood off his hands on the curtains, just walks out. Nurse sees him. Nurse flips out. Dr. Chalice wakes up and sees the guy, and he starts to chase this dude down the hallways of the hospital. Chases him out the front door. The guy runs. Well, he doesn't run. I don't know what this dude is, but, yeah, I do. He walks out and he gets in his car. After he gets in the car, he pours gasoline all over himself, sets himself on fire, and blows the car up. So as a movie viewer, I found this to be very peculiar, and I thought that these guys would have reacted a little more, strangely. But apparently this kind of stuff must happen at this hospital all the time, because they seem to just take it with a grain of salt. Dude pulls a guy's nose out and then goes and just burns himself up in a car. That's normal. So the next day, the dead guy's daughter, Ellie, shows up to identify the body, and she's noticeably shaken. She's a lot more shaken by what she sees under this blanket than anybody else is. So after his shift, Dr. Chalice decides to go down to the local bar and have himself a drink. While he's sitting in there by himself, Ellie walks through the door. She says, "Some of the nurses said I may find you here." She goes in, she sits down with him, and she just starts to discuss the happenings of the last couple of days with Dr. Chalice. She says that her father had a place downtown. They go downtown. They're looking at his records. She said he kept impeccable records of where he's been, what's coming in, what's going out. They don't know who would have done this to him. But what they do is they trace his steps back to the Silver Shamrock Novelty Company. You got to check that place out, right? I don't even know what to say to you right now. And what is that? So Halloween 3. There's a whole lot of people out there who just simply don't like this movie, not even for the movie itself, simply based on the fact that Michael Myers is not in this movie. But if you want to split hairs and get real technical, there is a commercial on one of the TVs with Michael walking down the steps. And if you want to get real technical, Michael Myers from Halloween 2 is in fact in this movie. Dick Warlock was Michael Myers, and Dick Warlock is one of those freaky, crazy robot dudes that's in the movie. But back to what I was saying. There are a lot of people out there, like a lot of people out there, who don't like this movie simply based on that Michael Myers is not in the movie. He's not a major player. He's not any player. He's not a character that appears in Halloween 3. So, long story short, this movie could have simply been called Season of the Witch, and I think that it would have had a much bigger success at the box office. Over the last several years, a lot of people have come around, and this movie sort of has a cult following at this point. But it kind of sucks that it fell flat on its face at the box office. I think it came in as the second worst ever Halloween release, or the second worst release under the Halloween umbrella. I think the other one may have been Part 5. Part 5 may have done worse. But yeah, this movie did not do well, and that is solely based on the fact that Michael Myers was not in this movie. Now, I will say I am not in that group who didn't like this movie because of that. I actually like this movie. It doesn't bother me one bit that it's called Halloween 3, because I know I've watched and read things over the years. I know what they were going for. What ultimately the plan was every year they wanted to put out a movie that was based around Halloween. Not Michael Myers, but Halloween, the holiday, October 31st of said year. They wanted to release a movie, and that movie was to be a standalone movie, and then each individual standalone movie could have sequels. That was the idea. But this movie fell so flat on its face, so hard, that this was kind of like a one and done concept. They didn't move forward with that. They already threw money away with this movie, so they didn't want to do it again. And I understand that completely. But I just think that it stinks that this movie was not really given a fair shake or a fair chance by a lot of people. I know there's a lot of people who do like this movie, such as myself. And there are a lot of people out there who did give it a second chance. They got over that whole no Michael Myers thing in the movie. But, you know, it really is a shame that things turned out the way. Well, not that they turned out. It's a shame that things happened the way that they did for this movie when it was actually released in theaters. Now, I go out of my way to try not to spoil movies in my movie reviews for the most part. I have to assume that everybody at this point has either seen Halloween 3 or does not want to see Halloween 3. But I'm still not going to spoil it for you. What I will say is what the Silver Shamrock Company is. They are a mask company. They make the Halloween masks. In this movie, there's a skull, a witch, and a jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin, whichever you prefer. And on that mask is a little silver coin with the Silver Shamrock logo on it. And what that does to the children that wear it when a certain jingle comes on the television set is kind of gross. What happens with these kids, I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's where I'm going to draw the line. I don't want to spoil this for the 5 people out there that have not seen this movie. I really don't have any problem with any of this movie at all, to be honest with you. I thought that the acting was fantastic in this. I thought that Tom Atkins was really, really awesome in this movie. I can't even imagine anybody else in this role. I felt the same way about him as I did in, like, The Fog. I just can't imagine anybody else being in that role. This movie is now, 1982, puts this thing at 38 years old. So for 38 years, I've been watching Tom Atkins in that role. So it would literally be impossible for me to imagine somebody else doing it. This is a movie that I can't imagine for any reason would ever be remade. They're not going to remake a movie that was a turd for them at the box office in the first place. So this is the movie we got to live with as Halloween 3. And I just think that Tom Atkins was fantastic. Everybody in the movie was fantastic. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love Halloween 3, so I have no complaints. I bet that I've watched this movie, to put a number on it, 40 times in my life. And I didn't miss you one bit. There really is no place in this movie for this dude. So that's it. That's my review of Halloween 3, if you even want to call this a review. I love this movie, and I know the chances are you don't love this movie. But we all like what we like, right? And I like Halloween 3 a lot. Leave me some comments down below and let me know how you feel. Are you in the large majority that didn't care for this movie because Michael Myers wasn't in it? Do you think that this should have been called Season of the Witch or something else? Or are you on, Team Project Ellsworth, where you love this movie regardless of what it's called? Like I said, leave me some comments down below. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this video and you've been enjoying my content up to this point, please do me a huge personal favor. Click that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a kick-ass day. And thank you for watching. I forgive you, brother.